Hello, it's Collette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I'm here to give you this week's energy report. I am sure you are all feeling the aftermath from our eclipse portal, and of course, now we have entered Neptune, enters into Aries, and so this has been awaited for 150 years. It was the last time that happened, and we enter into a 14-year long era now that lasts until 2039. So this is quite a big growth portal for many of us. It is full of potential and growth and your spiritual potential, your divine, gifts that need to be brought out in this world. And this is on the back of some very deep emotions that are still running through many of us, those of us that have been deep in the soul work, healing the inner child, working with shadow and trying to fathom the workings of the inner feminine and the inner masculine within us and outside of us. I've been really feeling the impact of this and how that's affected us in relationship, how it's affected us in our family and in friendships and in our work. So I covered that in the last report about the feminine, the masculine, about authenticity. But with emotions still running high in us, it's really important to keep allowing the emotional waters to flow. Whatever is showing itself to you in your emotional sphere, please allow it. The emotions feel very deep. They feel very, very overwhelming, but they are a deep release. They are a deep purging and cleansing and healing from all that you have been through. And you may not be truly conscious of all that you are releasing. So just allow the emotions to do the work for you. Let them know what they're actually releasing from your soma, from your spiritual being, from your, physical and ancestral being. That the tears know where to clean and when to release and how to release once you allow them. So just keep allowing them. It feels like everything is coming up. Everything is showing itself. And that might be kind of overwhelming to us because there's been many illusions that we've held about ourselves, many illusions we've held about others and the way we've lived and our dreams and our aspirations. And all of that might feel pretty illusionary at the minute. And that's okay because what we're trying to do is come into the illusions, the deceptions, and really what I like to call in my Jungian terminology, the veils of illusion, the unconscious content that you've hidden from yourself. And this is what Neptune does. As Neptune enters Aries, Neptune is doing the hard work for us. Neptune is really trying to help us pull up those behaviors, those illusions, those shadow aspects and flush them out of us. So please know that you're not collapsing. This isn't collapse. I actually felt in such deep emotion yesterday that I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm not okay. But that the deception we tell ourselves when we feel heavy emotion, that there's something not right because of the conditioning that we've been brought up in that, pucker up, get on with it, don't cry, particularly with regards to the masculine energy. And so masculinity is getting the opportunity also to deeply cry, show emotion, show that the masculine is human, is feeling, has buried underneath himself most of what he feels and has deeper connection to. And being a woman that has been thriving in her masculine energy, or should I say surviving in my masculine energy, that masculine in me is also taking a deep purge of cries and allowing the softer feminine aspect of me to come through. And I think that's essential for all of us, is to just recognize as we move through these times the play of feminine and masculine energies within us. And if we can do that, we can also look at the counterpart or the contrasex of another human being and see that the weavings of the feminine and masculine live within them and their own struggles with that, seen and unseen should be given compassion and understanding, even if that's deeply triggering for ourselves. So I think we're being asked to be more communicative, more clean and direct with our communication, try to look back at where we could have been better in communicating what we feel, what we think, and maybe we didn't deliver things very clearly. So I personally this morning had spent some time just correcting some or clarifying part of my communication where I feel I wasn't clear and making sure that I was clean and direct. And that allows me to then engage in my own authenticity and being heard and seen and expressing from an emotional place that doesn't need to be guarded. I think that's really key here is to how to de-armor, how to not be guarded. And it's super difficult when we're dealing with vulnerability, when we're dealing with emotion, when we're dealing with feeling, how we can disconnect from that armoring, from that shield in front of us to be completely vulnerable and not be in such like freezing fear that we're going to be maimed or the heart is going to have a spear thrown in it. For me, anyway, feeling that space of vulnerability is really difficult. I feel super unprotected, but that allows us to understand that some energies around us is important for us, that we are held in safety, that we are seen, that we are witnessed, that we are listened to. And whether we hold that space for others as well. Can we listen? Can we hold space? Can we recognize the trigger and still be open and receptive? So this is all about allowing, it's all about allowing everything that comes up, allowing the emotions, allowing the feelings, being communicative, expressive, feeling that the last 2 weeks of Venus retrograde that we're in as well is a deep spring clean of who we are, our relationships, the type of relationship we don't want to be in with ourselves and others anymore, and the type of relationship we do want with ourselves and others, and how we spend our time in the future. That's going to leapfrog us into the future. What does my future look like? How do I enter and engage in relationship? How do I get into the life that I wanted to lead? What does that look like? And we can dream big. We can really say where I've been guarded, where I've not been emotional, where I've been holding back. I've hidden what I actually want. And as that eclipse allowed that illusionary field to disappear, we can stand in what we really want. And tomorrow's really significant because it's April Fool's Day. And the Fool's Day is about illusions and deception. So I think it would be a good day to think about some of the illusions that you're still in about yourself, that you may be in about relationship, or you may be in about your life's purpose and goals, and just letting it go. Coming into your individualism, your personal identity, the connections that you long for, your intuition, where it leads you, the deceptions that you're under about yourself and others, and any illusions that you may have been involved in. And I think this, for me, I would term this in my language as the unconscious, allowing the unconscious to really come through, making note of how you allow unconscious content to be seen. For me, it's through analysis of my dreams, it's through meditation, it's through journaling, it's through my sacred devotional practice. All of that allows for a clearer perspective and for the unconscious content to come into clarity for me. So this will bring you into your alignment. We really have to understand that the key things here, I spoke about them in the previous weeks, is the masculine and feminine energies, the authenticity that we show as people. But this week, just focusing on discipline and devotion, and how is your spiritual practice? Are you disciplined? Are you devoted? Are you entering into daily meditation, daily prayer, daily yoga practice? You know, as a yoga teacher, I try to make movement part of my day, my somatic practice, as a way of clearing, of allowing, of just bringing myself into a deeper state of being. and do I skip, or what do I need, and am I devoting myself to that discipline on a daily basis so that it can work with me and for me? And the emotional connection, really, are you allowing emotional connection between you and other people, and primarily through your own self, and how that feels? And some deep, very deep buried emotions may be coming up. I really truly feel over the last 12 months I've been pouring from a really deep part, and I can't really even verbalize now the depth of that pot and where it's coming from, because it feels much deeper than the scenarios that my life has given me so far. So I'm allowing the emotion without trying to intellectualize it at all, but just really allowing it. So this is really deep waters. It's very profoundly changing for us. And I mean that on a really great level. Like, I know about Creator, and my connection to the divine is that though some things may feel very difficult, that it's always a lesson. It's always trying to teach us something. It's always trying to evolve our spirit and our soul. It's trying to take us to the next place in our spiritual evolution. It's trying to make things better. And especially if you're on a path where you're trying to make conscious what's spiritual, what's good, how we heal humanity on an individualistic level. You know, we are the change that we want to see. Of course, we are. So this is all helping with that. So it feels quite sludgy. It feels quite difficult. It feels hard. There's sacrifice involved in this movement, but it is a movement, and we are being ushered beautifully towards creating those very things that will be in service to our world, to ourselves, to our brothers and sisters, to the collective. That's what we're here for. We're really truly, makes me emotional to say it, but to serve each other, all beings, in goodness, in spirit, in devotion, in discipline, in the energy of all that's good. So if we hold that bar and we really work towards it, I believe there can be nothing but evolution of the soul. And no matter what little part we play in that, we're totally unaware of the collective Kalashnikov, I'm going to call it, that sparks out in this web of life between us as humans. So keep doing the work, and I give you thanks for those that are stepping into this role and are doing this work, because we are pivotal in humanity's change. Keep going. Beloved is with you. There are others like you. We're here together doing it. It might feel lonely, but I believe the next years are going to allow for deep, deep spiritual connections between those of us who feel like we've got a greater mission on this earth. So hold out, hold on, allow everything to collapse that's not in the line of that, and just trust the beloved. So take care for now, Collette.